from Marine World Africa USA, featuring the world's top competitors in professional water skiing. The 1985 Coors Light International Water Ski Tour is brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light turns it loose with professional water skiing. Ski Supreme, the leader and innovator of world-class luxury for the demanding skier. And by Mastercraft, the standard by which all others are judged. From Marine World Africa USA, just outside of San Francisco, California. Overcast skies here in San Francisco. A little bit of a chilly day. We hope the sun will poke through and burn the clouds away. A full house is on hand to watch the professional water skiing tour, and we expect some exciting competition this afternoon. Hello, everyone. Kevin Slayton along with Wayne Grimditch. And Wayne, when I mention that word competition, it's as balanced as can be in every single event. And we start with one of the most electrifying, the men's jumping. They come out to see that, don't they?
Oh, the jumping is great here. It's a short sight. They use a whip-style jumping approach. Sammy Duvall and Mike Hazelwood are terrific at this site. It looks to be tight.
One of the stories developing on the tour so far this year, Bob LaPoint expected to dominate the men's slalom. He is in first place in overall points, but he's only won one stop so far.
Right. Michael Shaylander's won two. There's a three-way tie for second. It's Shaylander, Mapple, and Hazelwood. So all four skiers are skiing extraordinarily well. The competition's very tight in the slalom event.
Perhaps the most balanced event of the tour so far has been the women's slalom, where we've had four different winners, and that rivalry that we expected to see take place between Dina Brush and Camille Duvall just hasn't materialized so far.
No, it hasn't. Right now, the leaders in the women's slalom event are Karin Roberge and Camille Duvall. It's a very close competition. It's a toss-up. I wouldn't want to have to call it.
Scotty Clack has won all four of the stops so far in the freestyle jumping. Can anyone catch him out there?
It's going to be difficult. On occasion, he is pushed. Second and third is very competitive.
We'll return to Marine World Africa USA at the start of the Coors Light International Water Ski Tour with the men's slalom after this. Sitting up here with me, a veteran of this slalom course, and he can give us a very accurate description of it. Wayne?
The slalom course is 585 feet long. It's composed of 6 gate buoys and 4 skier turn buoys. While the towboat travels down the center of the course at a constant 34 miles per hour for women and 36 miles per hour for men, the skier must enter the first set of gates. After doing so, the skier rounds the first buoy, cuts to the opposite side, rounds number 2, and after negotiating all 4 buoys, he must exit the final set of gates to receive credit for the pass. With each successful completion of a pass, the rope is shortened, increasing the difficulty of reaching the buoys. Whoever rounds the most number of buoys is our winner.
Full house here at Marine World, and it's time for the men's slalom. And the competition has indeed been keen throughout the tour. Bob LaPoint is the leader, but you can see how quickly and how hard he's being pressed by 3 competitors. Hazelwood, Shaylander, and Mapple all tied for second with 2,900 points, and in fact, Shaylander's won the last 2 events. Mike Morgan and Lucky Lowe figuring down there along the standings. Also, Shaylander, the only 2-time winner on the tour so far, has been giving everybody a run for their money. LaPoint has been consistent, and that's why he leads. He won only 1 tour stop, but he's finished in the top 4 in each of them. Final round of the men's slalom competition. The competitors: Mike Shaylander, Lucky Lowe, Bob LaPoint, John McElyea, and Andy Mapple. At 38 off for Andy Mapple as the sun has poked its way through here at Marine World, and it's turned into just a gorgeous day outside of San Francisco.
It really is. The water's beautiful. 38 off. This is where we're going to see whether his neck is giving him any problem. So smooth. Great 1. Waiting for 2. Pulling hard. Looks like he's going to get it. Now this will make him happy. Nice pass for Andy. All right.
He's through at 38, and he is now the leader. And he's still on the course, so he'll be moving up to 39.5 off. So Andy Mapple, defending the title that he won in Phoenix, looking very smooth so far.
Andy is such a smooth and rhythmic skier. He turns so well here on his offside, holds his angle through the wakes well, stretches. He really has nice, smooth style. He's a tough guy to beat on the slalom course.
Andy Mapple at 39.5 off. Hope you're enjoying the water skiing here, and will join us again next week from Somerset, Kentucky, because we'll have more of the same type of competition next weekend. Here comes Mapple. Listen to the crowd. They're behind him at 39.5 off. He's still alive. He's around 3, and he hits the water around. Oh, yeah. Still on his feet. How he held on is possible. And the crowd coming to its feet. A sold-out packed house here at Marine World.
As a total body slam on number 3. 39.5 off. The tow rope is 2 feet short from the width of the course. Andy gets a good one, comes into 2, really has to stretch, cranks the ski around, gets his elbow down the water, gets a little pulled out through the wakes. He loses his angle, stretches for 3, throws his body to the outside of the buoy, skimming along like a rock, hangs on, and he skis away. Pretty amazing stuff.
And they give him as he comes to the roar of the crowd dockside, 2.5 at 39.5 off. Oh, here he is into the water for his run at 38 off.
He can't be tentative here, even though he fell. Pretty good one. He's waiting for 2. Loses a little angle through the wake. It looks like he's going to make it, though.
He's around 4 and in through the gate. So McElyea takes advantage of the break and goes through 4 buoys at 38 off. And now he has a shot at surpassing Andy Mapple's 2.5 at 39.5. And now a chance for the lead for McElyea at 39.5 off. The mark by Mapple. 2.5 buoys at this distance. Here he comes around the first turn. He's still on his feet around the second buoy. McElyea has the lead around 3, and he loses it as he tries to make the turn and come back in. But he is the new leader as John McElyea circles around the 3rd buoy, and he jumps past Andy Mapple.
Well, you see here, he's at 39.5 feet off. The rope's 2 feet short of the width of the course. Boy, I mean, just to get around the buoy, but these guys are trying to make the whole course, and it comes out at 2 fairly well. Gets to 3, really pulls hard, hungers around 3, but he can't hold on. It looks like he probably will get a half.
And Wayne, they've given him 2.5 at 39.5 off. Did you agree with that? Because that only ties him for the lead, does not give him sole possession.
In order to get a full buoy, the skier has to come back to the middle of the wake in skiing position, and there you can see he lost the handle before he reached the first wake, so we do have a tie with Andy Mapple at 2.5 at 39.5 off. It's a pretty tough slalom here.
Fans of all ages coming out here to Marine World in the sunshine, the beautiful sunshine of the Bay Area this afternoon to enjoy the water skiing events. Bob LaPoint at 38 off, skiing on his home turf. He's from this area, and he's the current leader in overall points from the slalom tour. Now this is an important pass for him at 38 off. He wants to do well in front of the friends that are here, and you can hear the crowd immediately get behind him as he comes around the second buoy, heads through the 3rd without a problem, and LaPoint coasts home at 38 off.
He was not early through that whole pass. He got progressively later and later at a slow turn on number 3, but he managed to eke around number 4 there and out through the gates. I think he's hoping for a little better turns on the next pass.
And here he is challenging the co-leaders, John McElyea and Andy Mapple. They made it 2.5 at 39.5 off.
This is no small feat. He's really going to have to pull hard and turn hard here at 39.5 off. Number 1, so important.
And he's through number 1.
Good one.
From behind him.
Really good, too. I think he's going to get it. He's going to outside.
Oh! And he lost control heading around 4. But he does have the lead.
What a great effort by Bob. You can see how strong he is. Pulling hard, is coming into number 1. He stretches, gets a great start. Comes out of 1 well, is just waiting for number 2 here. It's right foot forward. This is onside, usually turns very well. Down in the water a little bit. His arms gets pulled out a little bit, coming to 3. Still in fair shape. Now he turns a little slowly on 3. Knows he's late. Spray obscures. There he goes. Throws the ski around the outside of number 4. We'll have to wait and see whether he gets a half.
Well, they've given him 3 1/4 at 39.5 off. So that is the new mark for the leader.
The difference between a half and a quarter is that if the skier will receive a half a buoy, if he turns the buoy, at that time he just got to the outside of it and went straight. He never really made a turn around the buoy.
Kevin Slayton along with Wayne Grimditch from Marine World USA. Difference between the jumping ski and the slalom ski. Wayne? Lucky Lowe at 38 off. Hasn't finished in the top 4 of any tour stop so far this season, but you can hear the crowd. This is an important run for him. He's around the second buoy, heads for the third. He's through without any trouble. Can he make the fourth? He does very easily. And Lucky Lowe at 38 off. Looks like he may be a force today, Wayne.
He looks very tough. He's been looking tough all year. And I think we'll see a good effort at 39.5 off. But here at 38, short rope means sharper turns. Lucky gets a good one, comes into 2, is offside, manages to turn 2 very well, comes into 3, no problem. He didn't overturn, and he gets around 4. He'll be happy with that, but he's got his work cut out for him on the next pass.
Lucky Lowe now for the lead at 39.5 off. He needs to get better than 3 1/4. That's Bob LaPoint's mark, and that has stood up so far as the leader.
One is very important for him. He's left foot forward. That's his good side.
And here he is through 1. Here he comes for 2. Big important turn for him through 2, but that's all he's going to get. And he most likely won't get 2 full buoys.
Coming into 1 here, he stretches out. Gets slack rope. See the slack rope there? Delays his turn. He goes down course too far. Makes him very narrow for number 2. Tough to get around the outside. He has to wait before he turns, and he sees there's no chance. Stops, hangs on, so he gets 2 full buoys.
2 for Lucky Lowe at 39.5 off. So a good run for him nonetheless, but not good enough to overtake Bob LaPoint. At 38 off, the top seed, Mike Shaylander, needs to get through easily here in order to have a shot at the leader, Bob LaPoint. This will be an important run for him.
Gets a nice start. Take a look at his 3 ball here. Gets his elbow down in the water, hangs on. He's got a lot of strength, and he makes it.
And the crowd's starting to sense something happening here, roaring their approval. Shaylander with a shot at becoming the winner of this tournament in the men's slalom. At 39.5 off. He needs to surpass 3 1/4 because that is what Bob LaPoint did, and he is the current leader. And here comes Shaylander for a run at it. Around the first buoy, around the second buoy, down he goes, and Bob LaPoint is the winner. Bob LaPoint couldn't have written a better script in front of the hometown folks, a sellout crowd at Marine World. He wins the men's slalom, and Wayne is down dockside with him right now. Wayne?
Thank you, Kevin. Bob, I just had a feeling you weren't going to be denied here in front of the hometown folks. You're the local hero. Andy put some pressure on you, though.
Yeah, he did, but I'll tell you, when I got on the dock and the crowd got going, that just really got me fired up. And I just went out there and I tried not to think about anything, but I said, all right, I'm pumped up, just ski aggressive, and that's what I did, and I felt really good.
Well, it looked terrific, and I wish you would start jumping again.
So do I. I really missed the jumping, but at least this way I can sit back and relax and watch it, which is kind of different, but hopefully next year I'll be back.
Great slalom. Congratulations again.
Thanks, Wayne.
Back to you, Kevin.
A storybook finish here in the men's slalom. Bob LaPoint, the hometowner, wins it in front of his folks here. A big victory for him. John McElyea and Andy Mapple tied for second, and Lucky Lowe, skiing well in the slalom, comes in 4th. The dynamic freestyle jump competition aspect of the tour is Tony Klarich, a hydro slide rider. And if you come out to Somerset, Kentucky for our tour stop this weekend, you'll be able to see some of the fun things like this, what he can do on a hydro slide. He'll do it all, won't he, Wayne?
Yeah, here's a somersault right here. You can do front to back to front, helicopters, whatever. It really is a fun thing to do. And if you've got some free time on the weekend, grab yourself a hydro slide. It's easy, and it's a lot of fun.
Now for one of the events that the people love to see, the freestyle jump from the men. Scott Clack, of course, has been brilliant throughout the tour. He's won all 4 events. He leads overall in points with 4,000. Mike Tolzmann has dogged him all the way, but hasn't been able to unseat him yet. He is second, Joe Aloe third, and Al McCoy 4th. Mike Tolzmann with his final jump. A back Mobius coming up.
Now he is in a single wrap position. He'll swing wide to the right of the boat. This gives him some distance to cut, generate speed to the bottom of the ramp, which will give him the distance. He springs, twists, nice jump. That'll score very high form value.
So Mike Tolzmann, already the first skier in the water, but already putting the pressure on Scotty Clack with that type of a jump.
spins around. He uses long skis. It gives you a nice idea of the rotation and the twists and turns that they go through there. It's a wild maneuver. Harold Cole was the first one to do this maneuver, and it's spread. All the skiers do it. It scores high points, and it's probably the most exciting trick that the skiers do today.
And it's brought the crowd alive here. A sold-out full house here at Marine World Africa, USA, just outside of San Francisco, California. Kramer's third jump of Mobius. He's changed skis, going to the shorter skis because it'll be easier on his rotation for him.
Here you can see him wrapping for the Mobius. Most of these skiers learn these tricks at slower speeds, lower ramp heights, and with shorter skis. Now, once they become more proficient at the trick, they move the boat speed up faster, they can go to longer skis. But here, Steve has the shorter skis. This is probably a new trick for him. A double wing cut, building speed. There he goes, come on. All right. Not the most beautiful Mobius, but he nonetheless gets the points for completing the trick. The form won't be as good as, say, someone like Scotty Clack. Here he goes, starts spinning and kicking. Now, sometimes they start spinning and kicking too soon and they don't get their full extension off the ramp, which means they don't get as much height and doesn't give them the time to complete the trick. There he goes. He's twisting and turning. You get the crowd behind us booing some of the form scores, but he'll receive credit, and not a bad maneuver for him.
Boats powered by the Ford Pleasure Craft motors, and they are able to maintain a constant boat speed, and that really helps in getting these skiers through the water. His third jump will be a flip. Aloe trying to rack up the points.
Keep an eye out for this one. He has one of the best. I believe he holds the record at 130 feet. He gets a great spring or kick off the end, and then he just dives forward. It really is a fabulous maneuver. There we go. Woo!
And the crowd loves it, and he has a safe and smooth landing, and he really got it out there, didn't he?
He really kicks it. It's amazing to me. When I was doing these tricks, we used to go 40 or 50 feet. Here he goes. He's really going to spring and dive out in front of his skis. Tips go down. He's way up there, 20 feet or so. Really a great jump. He's going to score big points on that. Sort of makes you want to try it, right, Kevin?
Not at all. Makes me want to watch him do it, though. His fourth and final jump, a 720 for Joe Aloe, but you know he scored well on that flip. And it'll be interesting to see the total points that he comes up with. He's finished all of his jumps and landed smoothly on every one of them thus far. So here comes the 720.
It's very important here to stay right over his axis. Ooh, bad luck on that for Joe.
I put the kiss of death on him by saying he landed smoothly, because that landing will hurt him.
Well, it's important here to have your body perpendicular to the water. He gets thrown off a little bit. I think he started just a little touch too soon. His skis get wide there, and when they land, they spread, and he falls in between them. Watch as he's coming down. Here he hits the ramp, starts his turn. Now right here, his skis get wide. They split even further, and he falls between them and grabs too much water, and he can't hang on.
Now the 720. You'll see it done to perfection, I'm sure.
Freestyle has gotten such a great response from the audience here. They really enjoy it. Some of the skiers take some pretty hard falls, as we mentioned earlier, but it really excites the crowd. The competitors love it themselves. And once you reach the stage that Scotty's at, they do become a lot safer than many of these tricks.
There's another fine jump on the 720. It's very repetitive with him, but it certainly is a pleasure to watch perfection at work. His third jump will be the Mobius that we saw Dave Dotter try 3 times and finally pull it off. Now watch the difference here.
Notice the way Scotty keeps his skis together. He uses long skis, so it gives you a better idea of the twists and turns he's going through. He really performs this maneuver very well. Boat speed is selected by the skiers, 35 miles per hour.
Very dangerous fall, but he waves his hand to let everybody know he's all right. But you could hear a hush rush fall over this packed crowd here at Marine World when he hit the water.
It might have jinxed him there. That's the first time I've seen him fall on this. He didn't quite get all the way around and went in face first. That's the hardest way to go in. I think he didn't start his backward rotation soon enough. It looked like he didn't throw his head back fast enough. Started his rotation late, didn't get all the way around. That's a hard fall, believe me.
All right, after that nasty fall, Scott Clack with his final jump coming up. And this is going to be an important jump in terms of who's going to win this. Joe Aloe is in the lead right now. And unless Scott Clack pulls out a good one, he'll be in trouble.
He really needs this because they scored 3 out of 4 jumps. So if you don't land 3 jumps, you're in trouble. You're only scoring 2 jumps out of the round.
See if he tries that Mobius again.
I think watching the top of the ramp, you'll see him initiate his spin backwards a little sooner. There it is. Wonderful.
Well, that's the jump he fell on, and he came back and executed it perfectly this time. And it'll be interesting to see the final point totals.
Here you see he starts his turn a little sooner, make sure he gets all the way around on the rotation, and lands right on his skis. That's a lot nicer than landing on your chest, right?
No question. A lot safer, too.
Really twists around. He has nice control over his body position in the air.
Despite a nasty fall on his 3rd jump, Scott Clack somehow survives to win the championship again in the freestyle jumping. And Wayne is standing dockside with the winner now. Wayne?
Thank you, Kevin. Scotty, 5th winner in a row. But I got a feeling this one hurt a little bit more. That was a nasty fall.
Yeah, it sure was. I hope I don't take too many more of those. Coming into the ramp, I got my arms stretched out on the Mobius, and you really have to keep your arms in real tight. What happens, I got pulled out as I was going through the air, and the wind here at Marine World was a lot different than any other site, and I couldn't quite get my skis back up underneath me. But luckily, I went in head first and kind of penetrated the water. I didn't land on my back or bruise anything. I felt real good. I tore my binder, though, on that trick, and I was a little hesitant to go back out and do it, but it turned out all right for me.
Well, it looked great. Stay healthy, will you?
All right, thanks a lot, Wayne.
Back to you, Kevin.
All right, Wayne, interesting that he was hesitant to try that again, but he did, and it comes out to be the winning jump for him. The 2nd try at the Mobius, because Scott Clack edges Joe Aloe for the championship. Mike Tolzmann finishes 3rd, and Steve Kramer 4th. So Scott Clack is the winner in the freestyle event for the 5th consecutive stop on this International Water Skiing Tour. We'll be right back. Camille Duvall and Karin Roberge are tied for 1st place on the tour with 3,600 points, and Dina Brush is breathing right down their necks with 3,200. And then it falls off a bit, Susi Graham, although she did win the last stop in Phoenix. Karin Roberge in the water at 35 off. Trying to put something on the board, Wayne, for the other skiers to really have some problems with. She has a problem seeing around that turn.
Yeah, she really bobbled on 1, and there she's off on 2. That's unfortunate. At 35 off, that's the pass where most of these skiers are having some difficulty. In the qualifying, a number of the skiers made this pass, and here you see she's coming in. 1 is very important at the shorter line lanes. Karin's a little shorter than the other skiers, so she has to use all her reach and make quicker turns to compensate for that lack of height. She bobbles a little bit on 1, comes into 2, is going to have to make up ground here. She gets over a little bit far and can't hang on. And I think they'll officially score that probably 1.5 at 35 off.
And that is what they do give her. 1.5 buoys at 35 off for Karin Roberge. So that's the mark that the other skiers will take aim at when they get into the water. So her skiing in the slalom event for the day is finished, and she really did have that problem around that 1st buoy.
And she dipped her shoulder on 1 and dipped it even a little further on 2, and then was in the water, and that was the end of her run.
Camille Duvall at 32 off. She won in Atlanta, has a couple of 2nd place finishes and a 3rd place finish, most recently at Phoenix. So she'd like to better that here today, and she needs to get through at 32 off. This is not so automatic as a couple of the earlier passes are.
No, they've really got to get with the program here. Dig in, pull a little bit harder. She rounds 2, comes out at 2 very nicely. Bobbles a little bit there, breaks forward at the waist, but she gets around 4. Now they'll shorten the rope again, and they'll make it that much more difficult to get around the buoys.
Camille Duvall in the water at 35 off. This is where Karin Roberge went down after 1.5 buoys. So it's up to Camille to top that mark and keep herself in contention for first place. Here she comes around to the entrance gates and then to buoy number 1.
It's a 40-foot rope here. She's really going to have to stretch. She stands up a little on 1. She's going to have to make up ground here on 2. Comes out of 2 fair. Bobbles on 3, and that looks like all she... I think she went inside at number 4.
It looked as though she went inside number 4. We'll wait for the official judgment, but I think you called it right, Wayne, so we'll get another look at her run, but better than 3 buoys.
Once again, the buoys are set 37.5 feet from the center of the course. She's at a 40-foot rope. She doesn't have much room to get around the outside of the buoys. Number 1 was fair for Camille. She came into 2 here, needed a good turn to make up lost ground. Gets pulled out a little bit through the wake, loses her angle, and she's really narrow on 3, and she has to turn late, and she's unable to get out to number 4.
Officially, they give her 3 at 35 off, so that is the mark the rest of the skiers will have to shoot for. Here's another angle from which to look at that.
The start is so important at these shorter line lengths, and you can see there her ski went straight down course a little bit, which loses ground, and she's late for 2, and she gets progressively late along the way, and she gets pulled out there and is unable to make number 4.
You think she was fortunate that she got through 3?
Yes, I think so. She just kept getting a little bit later and a little bit later down the course, and finally it catches up to you. Sometimes on a 4-buoy course you can get away with that. On a 6-buoy she would have been finished for sure.
At 35 off, Susi Graham, and this is the rope distance, Wayne, that starts to separate the champions from the also-rans.
It sure does. You're only dealing with a 40-foot rope here. The start is very important. She's going to try to pull hard through the wakes and get wide around the first buoy and really hook it. She stands up a little. She's a little narrow coming into 2. Breaks with her back. Her strength made the difference on that pass.
And she sails through at 35 off, so right now that's the mark to shoot at, and you know that she's going to do better than that when she goes out at 38 off.
Here we see her again. Sometimes when she falls down technically, she makes up with her strength, and here a slow start, leans hard through the wakes. Now you'll see her back buckle here a little bit. She holds on. She's really quite strong. Now she knows she only has to turn easily on 3 and pull hard, and she's around 4, and she's on to the next pass.
Susi Graham at 38 off. She sailed through at 35 off to give the mark that the other skiers will have to shoot at, and now she's trying to better that at 38 off. Here she comes.
The rope's a half a foot short of the width of the course. She gets pulled out around 1 and runs inside of 2.
Well, we'll wait and see if they give her a full buoy or more after the first turn on 1, but she did not get outside of 2.
When the rope's this short, number 1 is crucial. They have to pull very hard through the gates to get outside of the buoy, and there she was kind of narrow. She dug in hard, got straightened up, and then came inside of 2. Timing is crucial at this line length. You don't have much time to make a good turn. She comes through the gates. She's stretching. She sort of collapses, lunges a little bit at it, can't hold the angle, and then skis down course and comes inside of number 2.
So Susi Graham gets 1 buoy at 38 off, and that is what they'll have to shoot for with just 2 skiers to go. Sometimes forgotten part of any tournament of this type is the role that the judges play, and we'd like to take a moment to thank our tour judges this week. John Goodman, the chief judge, Bob Hardiman, Phil Adams, and Iris Hardiman, all assisting him very well. And you just can't have a tournament without these people. Connie Spiker, the chief scorer, the technical controller, Ed Brazil, Jack Walker, the chief driver, and Rex Ski, also the driver. So we want to thank those people for helping out and playing the roles that they play, sometimes unheralded, yet very important. At 35 off for Kim Laskoff, only Susi Graham and Camille Duvall have gotten far down the course at 35 off. Camille went down at 3 buoys, and Susi, of course, cleared the course at 35. They go into 38. Very important run here now for Kim Laskoff. She's having trouble, and into the water she goes around the second turn. It looked like she didn't get a smooth turn on the first buoy, Wayne, and definitely after the second turn was in the water.
At 35 off, she's on a 40-foot line. Number 1 is so important. She's left foot forward. They generally turn better on 1 and 3. She gets a fair start, comes into 2. Doesn't look too bad. She starts leaning and stretching, grabs the handle, but she comes over a little too far, and then the rope hits the ski and jerks her out. Maybe we get a little better look at number 2 here. Looks like she just sort of fell over. I don't know. It's a little hard to tell.
Well, she gets 1.5 at 35 off, and currently that ties her for third with Karin Roberge behind Susi Graham and Camille Duvall, with just Jenifer Leachman to come. Jenifer Leachman at 35 off. She needs to get through the course cleanly in order to take aim at Susi Graham's mark at 38 off.
She uses her height very well. Slow turn on two. Oh, she's finished. That's too bad.
She cannot get to the third buoy, so Jenifer Leachman, a very disappointing finish for her. And that means that Susi Graham is the champion here at Marine World. Here's another look.
That's really a shame. Sometimes Jenifer gets a little cautious in the turn, too tentative, and she stands up and the ski points down the course a little bit on one, you could see there, but in two here, she stretches for the buoy, grabs the handle, but she stands right up, the ski goes down course, and she's just no way she can get to number 3.
All right, so the women's slalom in the books. The winner, Susi Graham, for the second consecutive stop on the tour. She won at Phoenix. She wins again here. And now let's go down to Wayne at Dockside, where he's standing by with a winner.
Thanks, Kevin. Susi, congratulations. First woman to win 2 tour events, and they were back-to-back. Was it all for the love of Canada?
You could say that. It's for the love of water skiing, too.
Well, you looked really great. A few bobbles, but you're very strong out there.
Yeah, I felt really good. My slalom's just starting to pick up now, and hopefully it'll hold out until the Worlds.
Yeah, well, congratulations and continue good luck to you.
Thanks a lot.
Back to you, Kevin.
All right, Wayne, thank you very much. Susi Graham, the winner for the second consecutive stop on the tour. So the women's slalom competition is over here at Marine World, and for the second week in a row, Susi Graham is the winner. She defeats Camille Duvall in the slalom. Jenifer Leachman third. Kim Laskoff and Karin Roberge tie for fourth. Jumps, bumps, and thrills with the men's distance jumping coming up next here on the USA Network.
If your skiing requires something special, look into the exciting new
Convenience in water skiing, needless to say, is the towboat. And on the International Water Ski Tour, we have 2 of the finest, the Ski Supreme and the Mastercraft. They're powered by PCM engines, and they're able to maintain and hold the correct speed on a straight line for the water skier.
The men's jumping competition based on distance off the ramp. Mike Hazelwood and Sammy Duvall are both here. They currently lead the tour. Mike Shalander and Bruce Neville coming in third and fourth, but it should be a battle between Hazelwood and Duvall. Bruce Neville in the water. He has a jump to his credit of 196 feet off a 6-foot ramp. And he's finished fourth in these tour stops this year 3 consecutive times. So he's been consistent, if not wholly effective. This is his first jump of the afternoon.
Bruce is another member of the Australian contingent. Got some good skiers from Australia. Here he gets off a beautiful opening jump.
He got well up there. Very good height for him on the first jump.
It's always a nice feeling to have a good opening jump. Here he's just a touch stretch, but he recovers after the second wake. Gets a great lift. That's probably one of the best lifts we've seen so far today.
And it is the best jump we've seen so far. 167 for Neville. That gives him the lead by a foot. Bruce Neville for his third and final attempt. 167 is the best so far among all of the jumpers. He is in first place with a jump to go.
Here you see Bruce swinging out to the side, waiting for that boat to turn and accelerate to 35 miles an hour. He edges and is whipped out to the right. This is whip-style jumping here at Marine World, a little bit unusual. Going off a 5.5-foot ramp. Jumps awake a little, but again gets a nice lift. That's pretty close to his opening jump of 167, I would think.
170 feet for him, so he indeed did top his first jump. Second jump for Lucky Lowe coming up. Again, the mark to shoot for is 170.
You can see him here in the whip portion of the turn. The boat's starting to turn, accelerate to 35 miles per hour. Lucky swings out. This course is so short it demands total concentration for the skier.
gets out there pretty far. Probably didn't get quite the spring that he wanted. Didn't have the great height, but he once more keeps it out there for a long time and extends himself.
Lucky's carrying good speed to the bottom of the ramp here. Again, he slides out a little bit. Doesn't give him his full spring off the end of the ramp.
164 is his distance, so he keeps creeping up on Neville's 170. You don't think Lucky will play it conservatively on this final jump, do you?
I don't think he will. I think he's going to cut just as hard and hope to get in a better body position to spring off the end of the ramp. As you see here, he's really determined. He's concentrating hard here at the whip. He's got a good solid grip on the handle. He's starting to edge out and get very wide.
I don't think there's any question he's going to give it everything he has on his final jump. Lucky Lowe, listen to the crowd. They really want him to do it. Here he comes. He got the spring this time. He's well out there. That may be the best jump of the day, and it will have surpassed Neville's 170. He got all of the spring that he needed. You can see that he knows it's a good jump.
Watch this. He's really stretched here, but he hangs on and kicks it. Oh, that's a great jump for Lucky. I had a feeling he'd do that today.
176, so he does indeed kick it out there on his final jump of the day and overtakes Neville.
He was stretched a little coming across the wakes, but he recovered, and he just kicked it, hit it just right. That's going to be a tough jump to beat. He's happy.
And well, he should be. He's the new leader. 176 is the number, the magical number that everyone else will shoot for. Sammy Duvall, the second seed into the water for his first jump. Sammy finished first in Orlando. Followed that up with a second place at Palm Beach, a third in Atlanta, and a second in Phoenix. So he's been among the top two, along with Hazelwood, all year long. And in fact, they are 1-2 in the overall point standings.
Well, you're seeing one of the best skiers in the world right now. Sammy Duvall, world overall champion. He's won just about every world title there is, and he has a great jumping style. Nice spring and float.
Sammy got out there on his very first jump. He, of course, along with Hazelwood and Lucky Lowe, crowd favorites here in Marine World.
Sammy possesses one of the best springs in jump. He hasn't been getting much of a spring lately, so
175 feet on his first jump. He's within a foot of the lead.
Pretty nice opening jump, I would say. 175. He got a little better spring that time, but still, his skis were fairly split coming off the end of the ramp.
Kevin Slayton, along with Wayne Grinvich, needs to top 176 on this jump. His first jump of 175 is good enough for second place.
I think you'll see Sammy here really dig in on his cut, carry a lot of speed to the ramp, try to get his skis closer together to get his big spring. He has a great spring, and he can get his skis together. There he goes.
Behind him as he hits the ramp, gets the good spring out there. And
I don't know
if he got it or not.
That's going to be close.
It's going to be touchy.
He usually has such a great feel for the ramp and his spring, and he's just been a little off the last couple of days, and the first one was a good spring, better than that jump. I don't know whether he had more speed. We'll have to wait and see what the distance is.
169, so that will not overtake the first place jump of Lucky Lowe. Mike Hazelwood, the top seed in this tournament. He's got 2 first-place finishes, 2 second-place finishes. Here's his second jump now. He needs to go a little bit further than that first one. Needs to top it by 5 feet in order to win.
He's nice and wide here, slowing down, rotating his skis, really pulling hard here. Nice float. I don't know.
I don't think he got out there as far that time. Well, it's all on the line for him. His third and final jump, 176, the mark set by Lucky Lowe. That's what he needs to top. Sammy Duvall's 175 right now stands in second place, so it's either going to be first or third place. For Mike Hazelwood, the top seed, he hits the ramp with the crowd roaring, and I'm not sure if he got out there far enough, Wayne.
I don't know. It's really hard to tell with Mike. He has a lower trajectory because he carries so much speed to the ramp. Take another look. He's really fighting coming across the wake here. Resist.
171 feet, so he did not beat Lucky Lowe. He did not catch Sammy Duvall for second place. So Hazelwood comes in third. And the winner, Lucky Lowe, whose jump of 176 feet stood up against the top 2 seeds. All right, one of the great crowd pleasers in this tournament, Lucky Lowe, wins the men's jumping competition with a jump of 176 feet. He outlasted everybody else, and he's down dockside with Wayne. Wayne?
All right, thanks, Kevin. Lucky you were right on the edge, but you hung in there, got your arms in, and you really kicked it.
That's right, Wayne. Boy, I was really pushing out there. I've crashed a lot of years out here, and that one was one of those kind I would have crashed on, but I just kept reaching for that handle, just brought my body around, just got me connected to the ramp, and I just flew.
That's terrific. We've been telling people that you've got the ability. You just had to get it together, and you certainly did today. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Wayne. I sure appreciate it.
Back to you, Kevin.
All right, Wayne, 176 feet does it for Lucky Lowe. He outlasts Sammy Duvall, who jumped 175, Mike Hazelwood, who went 172, and Bruce Neville, who jumped 170 feet. Lucky Lowe, the winner in the men's jump. Wayne, it's been an exciting day here at Marine World, and we have more to come on our Coors Light International Water Ski Tour. This weekend, June 29th and 30th, we'll be at the Lake Cumberland Classic in Somerset, Kentucky. From there, the tour goes on to Dayton, Ohio, July 6th and 7th. The Ironman at Birmingham, Alabama, July 20th and 21st. And then we'll see you again August 3rd and 4th from the Tournament of Champions in Shreveport, Louisiana. Then it's the Coors Light International Water Ski Tour.